Let me know when we're recording so I can stop swearing so much.
We already are recording, sir, because the good stuff happens when we don't hit record, so we just go. Chris Shimek, welcome back to the show. I feel like it's our show now. It's not even my show anymore. It's just us.
Well, ever since we had that beer in that bar, we have become best friends and started a show.
Was that the night you slept in a van down by the river?
Yeah, Howie and I drove down. I believe you should take your shelter with you every time you leave the house, just in case.
I mean, it's solid advice.
It's an acronym, Home on Wheels in case of emergency. And if you have a van, you're always home. And
what is the acronym again? Give it to
Howie.
me.
Howie. Yeah, his name is Howie. It's a home on wheels in case of emergency. So it's a van.
Howie.
And you can always crawl in the back of the van and fire up some Netflix, eat a Subway sandwich, and live to see another day. And yeah, there's something about saving money off of a hotel room that just, when you put it in the gas tank, you can get a long ways from here, So
you're looking at 139 plus tax a night for a standard room, right?
If you want to share a room with somebody,
Hampton
sure.
Inn, right? So yeah, no, I get it. So you make a very good point. Whoa. You make a very good point, though, and this is what I love about the conversations with you is you're right, because for $140 plus tax for a room, that can get you a lot of miles on the road to see and explore and experience different things.
Just guessing, that's probably 600 miles in the van worth of gas. 2 tanks, let's say 2 tanks of gas, 300 miles, a tank roughly. So, yeah, I drove down. You can drive down to the beach in 6 hours from where I'm at. So, maybe a tank of gas. I don't know. So one night in the van means sitting on the beach for a few days. I don't know. Howie. You need to get yourself a Howie, people.
Is this Howie acronym yours? Do you own this?
Yes.
You got the rights to this?
Actually, I don't have the rights for anything except for this hairstyle. But I was driving up over the 4th of July. The wife goes to Vegas to see her mom. She was born on the 4th of July. Hi, Annie, if you're listening for some reason.
She's a Yankee Doodle baby.
Yep. And I was driving to Minnesota to see my family on the 4th with the dog and I barely got to Nashville. So I was less than an hour and a half into the trip, and I went, Howie. I think I said it exactly like that, too. I was all alone, so no one there judging me. And I went home on wheels in case of emergency. And I decided that if I ever built a camper company or, camper vans or I think I would name it Howie. And I named my van Howie between here and Nashville, an hour and a half into a 15-hour road trip.
You drive a lot?
I love driving. Love it. I love being mobile. I love being on the go. And then when you have a van, the world feels like it's yours. If you throw a bicycle in the back, I would go anywhere right now as long as I knew I had the van.
I love everything about this because I drive unbelievably often. My truck's 2.5 years old. I got 106,000 miles on it.
Yeah. Like when I retire in 3 years, 36 months, if with good behavior, I might get my CDL just for a part-time job, driving local, just because I love moving. I love being on the road.
What is it about drive? Like, I get being mobile and so on, but for me, I know what it does for me. It's my windshield time is my therapy time.
Yep.
It is my ability to sit and to have time to myself, whether it's internal reflection and thinking and putting my ideas forward and talking to myself on just life issues in general, or I enjoy a podcast or an audio book, right? It's my time. That's what I enjoy about it.
It's the same reason why I ride motorcycles. Because you can, I don't turn the radio on a motorcycle. I don't have any of those fancy, Bluetooth things so you can talk on the phone. Even the wife, when she's on the back of the Harley, she, we're just, you're kind of in the moment, same concept. But I've driven to Minnesota multiple times, didn't even turn the radio on. My wife thinks I'm crazy.
I drive quite often with no sound.
Yeah. So I think it's in this busy world, and, we're so overstimulated with things, all the screens and all the noises, and sometimes it's just nice to sit quiet, not have to talk. And the dog's just happy he's going somewhere. So he doesn't care whether we're in the car an hour or 15, So
I just talked about this the other day, and I was saying how we live in such a busy world today that so many people don't know what to do with the quiet.
Yeah. They don't
literally, it's so funny that we went down this road this morning because I just talked about this the other day, and I was saying, what do we do as soon as our environment gets quiet? We pick up something to stimulate ourselves, right? Typically our phones, right? Or we have to always. I walked in the office this morning, and I put the TV on right away because I just want that background noise for the news and to hear what's going on and so on. And it's like, I find myself programmed to do that, yet I do enjoy the silence, but a lot of times I don't take it. There's always white noise or something in the background, and I think about that, and I think about how people get uncomfortable with the silence.
You fly a lot?
I do, yeah. I travel a ton.
One of the best places I love hanging out is in the gate. I'll get to the airport 2.5 hours early just to sit at the gate.
Why?
Because I like to go get a Diet Mountain Dew for $17.
They make Diet Mountain Dew?
Of course they do. You don't have Diet Mountain Dew in New Jersey?
Well, it's not that we don't have. I've never seeked out a Diet Mountain Dew. Like, if you're going to do Mountain Dew, you just do Mountain Dew. Like, you do a Diet Coke. You do a Diet. No. I'm not a Pepsi guy, so don't even talk about Pepsi.
A Diet Mountain Dew, a real Mountain Dew will have you up for a week.
Isn't that the point of Mountain Dew?
No, not to have chest. I don't want to have people doing chest compressions on me because I had a freaking Mountain Dew. No.
All right.
So you go get yourself your favorite beverage, whether it's a Coke Zero like the Donch or a Diet Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
And you go sit at the gate. And there's two different types of people in an airport. People that are moving to go to, they're in transit, so they're moving. So half the time they're on their phones and moving, but most of the time they're moving, trying to get to their flight, trying to get home, trying to get, baggage claim. And then the other people are the ones that are sitting at the gate doing this. Right? So when you sit down and you just people watch.
Oh, yeah.
And you can meet and see some of the funnest and the coolest people, and you just, and it's quiet time because no one wants to talk. Everybody's in movement. There's a lot going on, but it's just a good time to observe, I got a spot on Michigan Avenue in Chicago. I do the same thing with a Diet Mountain Dew.
I love people watching. It is by far, my wife and I truly enjoy it when we go out and when we travel and stuff. That is a big highlight of our trip. And, I'm on my phone and working a lot, but I also am very comfortable putting it down and just sitting and watching. And it's almost like, I remember there was an episode of Family Guy where Peter he built a cardboard TV cutout and then put it on pipes and connected itself to him. So he walked around town and he was making his own TV shows just with what was happening around him.
Yeah.
That to me was gold because it's like we don't value what's happening around us enough because we're so buried in our devices.
It's weird that this is coming up, like you said, because we had this conversation yesterday at the station.
Really?
We're 75% having the same conversation. We were talking about being overstimulated.
5%.
Yeah, I can't give you 100. I'll never give you 100, Dodge. We were talking about being overstimulated, and it started off with my lieutenant is a Navy vet. He was in the Navy for like 30 years. He's one of those guys, right? And he brought up a story about a sailor that had committed suicide in basic, in training. And we started talking about, and it all rolled into why is this happening? And then we got into being overstimulated, and it got into, it just rolled. You know how it is. The point I'm trying to make is that the TV wasn't on. And it was just a few guys sitting in the station having a conversation.
Yes.
And it went for a while. I think we talked through lunch. So imagine what would happen if we turned the computers off for a little while or turn the TV off at the station and just go, hey, let's play cards or dominoes or I don't know, whatever you want to do. Go make a hopscotch course on the ramp. And
bro, it's engagement, right? And
engagement, that's the word.
Yeah, and I think this is exactly what I was talking about the other day, is when that silence creeps in, we try to find ourselves to get busy because many people don't like the silence. So my point is, instead of going down that rabbit hole of mindless scrolling,
yeah,
if you were the person, everybody around you in your firehouse or in your company is going through the same thing. And so, at the end of the day, all it takes is one guy to initiate a fun conversation, or one guy to start talking about firematic shit for 20 minutes. And as long as there's engagement, people are engaged. They want to be a part of something. And I don't think they just want to sit there and mindlessly scroll. But the problem is engagement takes work. And so many of us, and I'm guilty of all this too, right? There's times to just take the easier way out. I don't feel like talking, and so I'm just going to scroll. And there's a time for that, right? But at the end of the day, like, we should be engaging one another. Like, this conversation this morning with you is just fun. I enjoy the engagement.
And we've gotten away from that.
Yeah.
Because we put a smartphone in everyone's hand. And
Sure.
so we have access to 30-second videos, endless 30-second videos for, so you can just sit in there. And, many times you'll be sitting at the station, you'll look around and there'll be 4, 5, 6 people just silent in a room.
Right. Right. But we're together.
But we're together. But
we're together.
We're not
sitting here.
Yeah. We're just waiting for the phones to go off.
Yeah. Right.
And then when they go off, people are like, what was that? We got a call? Like, yeah, we got a call. You're not even listening.
Can we circle back real quick? We didn't finish this conversation yet. The airport. So you like to get there early just to people watch?
Love it. My wife hates it. I love it. If I had a flight today at 3, I'd be there at 1. I don't check a bag, so I can go right to the gate. I want to get through security and I want to sit down.
And you sit at the gate that you are flying out of?
Yes, for 2 reasons. Number one, in case anything changes, I'll hear it, so I know
one of those
guys changed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like to find a comfy chair. I like to be faced. So when they're like if you look at the airport and how people are moving, I like to face upstream so I can make eye contact with some people.
Oh, I sit in the back corner of a restaurant.
Yeah,
I don't have my back to the door.
I don't want to look at everyone's ass as they walk by. I want to be able to see you coming and kind of okay, this guy is a skier. He lives in a van like me. Here
Howie.
comes a mom. Here comes a businessman. And then you can always make eye contact a few times, maybe a little smile, just hey, how's it going? And just enjoy not looking at a screen or not listening to music or not watching TV, or just. And then sometimes people want to talk. Every once in a while you meet that weirdo and go, hey, how's it going? They'll sit down next to you and going to Milwaukee. Yeah. You might meet somebody. You never know.
I love that. I love meeting people. I love talking with people. But you have to understand the audience and the time and place too, right? A lot of people don't want to be distracted or strike up that conversation.
Most people are annoyed.
Right. But I was going to ask you this. Acknowledging people. You said you like to sit there and get eye contact with people as they're coming, as they're lining up at the gate. You're still seated or whatever it is.
Yep.
But I think acknowledging people is powerful. I think when somebody walks by, it could just be a lock eyes and a smile, or lock eyes and and a head nod. But acknowledgement can go so far because it lets the person know that you see them.
And this is exactly where the conversation went yesterday at the station. Why did that sailor commit suicide? Because I thought he felt alone. He was maybe taken out of his home. He's now in this big new world. It's confusing. And he felt alone. We do the same thing with the recruits when they come into the fire station. We're told you don't speak for 5 years. You don't have an opinion. Shut up. Follow the rules. Just get in line, right? And then when we're sitting at the station, everyone runs off to their bunks, runs off to, we scatter like cockroaches. Or we're on our phones. and we're not engaging, and we're not having these conversations. And that's all I'm asking of people now is like, let's just physically make these kids, I'm going to call them kids because they're younger than me. Let's make them feel like they're part of the team right away. Like, hey, welcome to the team. I've got you. I am your host, the Shimek. When you have a question or when we get a call and we get off the truck, stay on my left hip. Don't feel like you can't ask me a question on scene. If you want to grab the tool and work, I'll supervise you cutting a door open or, popping a door and just make them feel like they're not some redheaded stepchild. Like, they don't want to talk, because I think it creates that you're building that foundation in the first 5 years of their career where they were told not to talk. They were told to shut up and do it. This is the way we do it. Shut up and do it. And so they're afraid. And so then that just starts building this anxiety, this fear. I don't want to do it wrong. Or, so when it comes time for them to be the senior fireman, they're just kind of like, I'm not used to talking, I'm not going to get on the radio and radio that I think someone's up here or because they're afraid to even key the mic.
There's so much to this. I love this. I'm so happy this went here. And all it takes, right, when you acknowledge somebody, you can do it on that. Obviously, in our firehouses, we need to engage our new people and let them know that, yes, we value them being there. We still have to have a little bit of that, push, but we need to engage them, right? That engagement. Mm-hmm. But I just think about, too, just the simple fact that you see someone, just acknowledging somebody. Mm-hmm. We're so busy with our heads down these days that life passes by and we do not acknowledge the people around us. And I think there's such value to what you do at the airport. And I know it's important for you. You enjoy that. It's kind of a character builder for you, a fun hobby to have, right? But what you do for the people around you, for somebody that had a really shitty start at 4 a.m. trying to get to the airport and rushing, and they get there in time and they have 5 minutes and they happen to walk past you or sit across from you and you just look up at them drinking coffee and you just look at them and just smile and say good morning. Yeah. That can change the whole trajectory of somebody's day, but all it takes is just a little bit of effort on your part.
Yeah. It's not hard. And this is how we can make everything from the new recruits that are sitting in class right now this week feel better is when they hit the floor, engage with them.
I know we talked a lot on the other episodes together. I think now you've been on more than anyone else, to be honest. I think you are now the front-running guest on the 400 and something episodes of this show. But we've talked about it before, but I know like people are continually, joining the podcast and listening and stuff. But the podcast that you do, Conversation is Ventilation, is very much all of what this is today that we're talking about. And I think that's what my draw was to you when I first saw a lot of this. And I think that's why I'm trying to be your friend. And I keep inviting you back. It's because this, God, I'm waiting for the witty remark. But in all honesty, I enjoy talking to you because I never know where our conversations are going to go. And this morning already in 18 minutes and 52 seconds has been
This is what happens when you get more than one fireman in a room. You know that.
Yeah.
And it's the same with PD. And, we're all a little off, I think. I think in order to do this job, you have to be type A, but you also have to be a little off. Your sense of humor has to be a little dark or a little weird. And you get more than one fireman together, it's just, you never know what's going to happen. And you and I have always had a good banter back and forth.
But this is what you do. Like, this is what you designed your CIV podcast and now the class that you teach for your department, for the probies coming in their class. Yeah. Like, but what we're talking about is something that you have come to realize is super important for this job.
Well, I realized subconsciously a long time ago that if you can engage with people and make them laugh one time, and then it puts them at ease, and then all of a sudden they want to tell you something. Does that make sense? Like,
yes,
all you have to do is open the door and say, you're allowed to come in here, to a rookie. Or all you have to do is with a stranger that you meet on the street is just maybe, how's it going? Or tell a funny joke about how, just whatever. And then they're immediately, their guard comes down, and then they go, oh, this guy's funny, or he made me laugh. And hey, next thing you know, your recruit is talking about what he likes to do on his off days and his hobbies or where he's from. And now he feels like he can trust you or he can talk to you, and he's not so, and then it snowballs into this thing, and it by simply just being nice to people, and how's it going? What's your deal, dude?
I have found one, I think you are that type of guy, and knowing your story and how, you've told me that you used to just fade into the background and, and so on, and being one of the more senior guys in your company. And only as of the last few years have you found your true niche, I think, in where you fit in. But where I'm going with this, and if I'm wrong, please tell me I'm wrong. But where I'm going with this is I think you have that persona and personality that people are attracted to. I bet you people tell you shit that they've never told anyone else, and you don't even know these people well. And I'm not even talking about firemen. I'm talking about people you meet at the airport. I bet you that you're the type of guy, I find myself doing it with you. It's like, this guy's so easy to talk to. I love your responses. I love how you internalize the conversation. Like, there's something likable about you that people are attracted to and probably will air their fucking laundry to you because you're just that guy.
The funny answer to that is no one's ever found me. Shit, I had it and it fell off. Not aggressive, but intimidating. I'm never. I don't know. I'm a golden retriever. You know what I mean? Like,
that's the perfect.
Who doesn't want to pet a golden retriever? They're great dogs.
Yes.
They don't pee in the house after the first time. They go, oh, you don't want me to do that anymore? No problem. I learned, and and then everybody just wants to walk up to them and pet them, strangers. And I just think I
love that.
But getting back to what you said earlier too, I've spent a lot of time at the first 3/4 of my career kind of making some mistakes, and now I'm old enough now to realize that I've made some, and that's kind of me going back and correcting some things and maybe making amends, and I don't want to see things repeated, so the old Boy Scout way, leave it better than you found it. If you know there's a problem.
Isn't it awesome though that you can do that 20 plus years into your career, and if you didn't like your run, that you still have time to change that, fix that.
Everybody is.
I love that though, because so many people,
first responder, police officer, jailer, dispatch, everyone has that opportunity.
Yes.
You can say, look, here's where I've messed up. It takes a little bit of guts to go, I messed up, because no one likes to talk about their failures. We're all heroes. We all did a great job. Well, let's talk about where we failed. Well, and once you do that, but people are listening, and they want to hear what you screwed up. I really believe people want to hear it, and not to make fun of you, but to go, I don't want to make that mistake that he made. If he's willing to talk about it, I want to listen, So, some of the things, I don't know. I got a list.
What do you mean you got a list?
I've just got a mental list of a few things that I've really screwed up on or not done well enough. I haven't applied myself properly in this area. There was a couple calls where I didn't speak up, and we put ourselves in some really dangerous situations, and one of them keeps me up at night. And so I remember when that happened, I came out of it and I was so mad. I was mad at the person that was in charge that made me do this. And I was mad at myself for doing it because I knew it was wrong. And I've talked about it openly. And so things like that where, tones go off, there's a big structure fire, and it's a dangerous situation. You got to be thinking, it's okay to question, your lieutenant, or to go, maybe this isn't the right attack, or I don't know. I put myself in a few situations.
Your gut.
Your gut instinct.
My gut talks to me all the time. I mean, it has really never steered me wrong, even if it's to the point of, just the type of character or person somebody is or a situation. I think realizing or recognizing that internal feeling and then being able to act upon it. I think people are scared to act upon their gut feeling at times because they're worried about potential repercussions because I wasn't told.
Yeah, and especially when you're in your first 5 years, you're told
Yeah.
not to even touch the thermometer or the thermostat, not thermometer, or the remote, or don't comment on anything, and so you're just gonna blindly follow and do something. And our job. A lot of it is not fire related. We're putting ourselves in crime scenes. We're showing up at a bar fight, where there's 30 or 40 people fighting in a parking lot, and there's 5 police officers. And now you're a young recruit, 2 years into your career, and you're standing in a parking lot at 2 a.m. with a huge brawl going on, and there's 5 officers. And you realize, wow, we shouldn't be out of the truck. We shouldn't be here right now. Or, busting up into a home when the call came in as a man with a gun threatening suicide. Why are we forcing the door into this man's house and PD's not even here? And then you force the door, and then you find yourself down a hallway with your flashlight yelling for a man to come out. And you're like, I'm not a cop. If this guy comes out, he has a gun. They've already told us that. What am I going to do? I'm going to, it's just stupid. I'm rambling, but I think it's important for everyone to remember it is your duty to pass on what you've learned to the guys behind you. You have to, if you take that with you, you've done a disservice to everyone. And I don't know how you're going to sleep at night.
Well, that's the world in which we live, right? We keep our heads down and focused on ourselves. And I think if anything needs to be taught and explained, and we put more focus on it, it's getting back to those that are riding with us, those that we go to fires with, right? Those that we work with or volunteer with. Like, you have to get out of your own head and really focus on those around you. But it's just getting harder and harder this day and age for people to care about others around them. And again, it just circles right back to what we've been talking about, right? It's just acknowledging or recognizing somebody around you, a simple smile. Hello, how's your day? What I love to do, everybody, people are kind and they say, oh, how are you? And I said, fantastic. I say fantastic all the time.
Yeah.
And so many people are taken back by that. They go, fantastic? And I go, yeah, why not? What's the alternative? Right? And it changes the whole temperature of the interaction or conversation because you're upbeat and positive. And I'm not doing it in a hokey way. I'm doing it like, yeah, how are you today? I'm fantastic. You are? Yeah, why not?
Why not? I tell them I'm living the dream because, like you're getting a Coke or something at the gas station. The guys, living the dream, man. He goes, really? And then they always usually come back with a comment. If this is the dream, I'm going to jump off a bridge or.
I've used that before. I have.
People usually have a funny comeback to that. Living the dream. This is your dream? Yeah. Right. I always wanted to be at Walmart at 2 a.m.
But the thing is this too, right? Then go get it.
It's just simple engaging, like you're saying. We're not doing it with the recruits. We're not doing it with each other. We don't call our parents enough. We don't.
But I'm taking it one step further. If you're not happy or living your dream,
you need to fix that. Yeah.
Fix it.
Yeah. Well, we're too busy.
I'm not saying everybody's going to be incredibly wealthy and live this, unbelievable lifestyle. But you know what?
No.
There are plenty of people that do okay in life that are listen, there's tons of millionaires that are absolutely what Gary Vee says it. I know plenty of millionaire friends that cry on their Ferraris, right? Mm-hmm. It has nothing to do with wealth or anything like that. It has to do with fulfillment. It has to do with purpose. These are words that I think people don't focus on enough because everybody's driven for money or power or whatever it is.
Nope.
But at the end of the day, you know how you close your eyes at night and feel good? You have to be fulfilled. You have to put in an honest day. You have to have a meaningful relationships. You have to have a way to connect and communicate. You have to be part of something more than just your own shit.
Yeah. Got to feel happy. I don't know. You got to have something to get up and do and be happy about, and
You are
part of a team, and
you are incredibly active. You just got back from a quick jaunt, and we were just chatting back and forth. But I look at all the activities you do, right? I mean, the things that we've discussed on this, multiple episodes. Go ahead.
I've never felt more alive than when I'm up in the mountains with a ham sandwich in my pocket, wearing 3-day-old underwear, on a mountain bike, just bombing down the hill, or on your snowboard with your friends, sharing a sip of whiskey on the chairlift while you're heading up the mountain. It's never been about money. It's always been about doing stuff and having a good time and having a laugh and joking around. And everybody's so serious all the time too. Like, knock it off. Like, I get you need to be a little serious, but we are way too serious. Part of that is social media. Everybody thinks everybody's got to be 120 pounds with abs, and you got to be perfect, and everybody's got they're all showing off, and, and we're like, well, I'm failing in life. No, you're not. They're selling you stuff, shut up, go outside, put the phone down.
Have you always been that way?
A dork? Yeah. I just want to go. I've had more fun with you having a beer, when we were down in, people, it's all engagement. I have a good friend that we go skiing several times a year, every winter, and we have more fun. You prepay for your lift tickets in the summer, you buy the Epic Pass, and you go hang out on a mountain with a sandwich and a Ziploc bag in your pocket. Be like, hey, we're living the dream right now. We're outside at 10,000 feet, snowboarding, sunny out, we're breathing. What do I have to complain about?
Is that perspective, though? So many people struggle with that, I think, where, people get caught up in the rat race, people get caught up in the everyday. And maybe they don't have an outlet. Like, you have multiple outlets, right? I mean, you were just mountain biking, playing Frisbee golf.
You got hockey, what, an hour and a half? It's just
all, right?
Go do something. Get off your ass and go do something.
How healthy is that for you?
It's probably why I'm still here. I know I wouldn't have. I'm not a guy that can sit in an office all day, and bust out TPS reports. I'm not that guy. I got to go. I got to be moving. I got to go outside. I got to do something.
I know I know being a bicycle mechanic is certainly part of your personality, but I was going to ask you, and then I thought about that, knowing your backstory. You're a tinkerer.
Yeah. I have a problem with finishing projects too, but
I'm an 80%er, bro. That's what my wife tells me.
80%er? That's
80%. So that means that I see a project through until I get about 80% done. And the last 20%, which is just finishing, I'm already bored of it and I've moved on. So I have projects that are 80% done all over my life. And then what I've come to realize in business and in life is I need somebody to help finish that last 20% for me, because I know that I'm a creative and a thinker and an idea guy, and I can put the team together and I can start to build something. But my mind then wanders because now I'm bored. I've already done the fun part, and the execution for me is the boring part. And so I've realized that I need others to execute my ideas and vision, and that is how I've been able to project forward. And it's only as of the last maybe 10 years have I come to recognize that I need people to help me finish and get across the line, because I'm already bored and moved on. My brain, I think this is I think it's one of my strongest characteristics, but it's also a pinch point for me. It's because my brain travels so fast that I have 10 million ideas in my head. I want to explore every single thing.
That's why we get along.
I'm not good at putting them in order and then knocking them off one at a time. I like to tackle them all at one shot.
Yeah.
What do you have there?
Well, think about what you're doing with National Fire Radio. It's not a one-man show. You never see the credits after a movie and there's just one name.
Right.
You don't see a band up on stage. Metallica doesn't, tour the world alone.
We just saw them a couple months ago.
Me too.
Fantastic.
And so, we could tie it into firefighting. Let's bring it back. You're not going to have a rookie come into the fire service for 25 years and do it all by himself. He's going to have mentors. He's going to have people that he looks up to and follows. They're going to training. I'm going too because I respect him or her. And they're going to go. They're getting deployed on this, to Texas for this flood. I want to go. And so then they find themselves following their mentors for a few years, and then eventually they turn around and realize they're actually the roles have reversed, and now people are looking at them like, what is Shimek doing? I want to follow him. Or what is the Donch doing? Because eventually you're going to be the senior guy. And there's going to be people that want to emulate what you're doing, So you have to realize that and realize you have a obligation to these people to pass on what you know, what you've learned, where you failed. It all comes back to that same stuff. It's mentoring. It's conversation. It's being human.
It's taking an interest in another, though.
Yeah.
That is the part that I'm really struggling with because I watch it all the time. The lack of engagement or the care to engage, or maybe it's they don't know how to engage. When you engage, you have to have, one, confidence in yourself, and two, you have to have humility. You have to be willing to open a conversation or an activity, and you don't know, you can't control it. So you don't know where it's going to go. And I wonder how many people struggle with engagement because they don't want to take initiative because they're afraid to fail. They're afraid to be wrong. They're afraid to have an opinion.
First half of my career.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just saved me $250. I don't need to go to my.
I should have been a therapist. Do you think I should be a therapist? Like, do you think I should moonlight?
No, you're doing exactly what you should be doing. So, I mean, you're.
What is that? That's. I don't know what I'm doing.
That's the point.
I guess so. I guess that's why maybe
cares?
It works.
Yeah, that's why it works, because you haven't boxed it into this pretty package and go, this is what we do. No, who cares? What are you doing, Shimek? Couldn't tell you.
It's good shit.
Where are you going?
We literally had no plan about what we were going to talk about today.
We never do, and yeah. It just is. Things can be. It doesn't have. We overcomplicate everything.
Yes.
Just let it be what it is.
Yes.
Firefighting is firefighting. Being on a team is being on a team. This isn't. We're getting so far away from just being human beings. Like, just let's put the phones down and go out for a beer with these guys. Hang out as a crew and get your wives and all of you go out one night and go bowling, and just call babysitters if you have to, grandma, whatever. Just find a reason for everyone to go hang out for 2 hours and have a beer and a pizza and bowl and have a laugh, for Christ's sakes, because you're going to wake up and be 65 before you know it. So for fuck's sake, go bowling, have a laugh, take your wife.
Something I've been doing for quite a while now. Once a week, I'll just scroll through my phone and randomly call someone.
Great. See?
And for me, what's been a lot of fun, sometimes it's targeted. Sometimes I'm like, I want to call that guy this week. I haven't talked to him in months or whatever it is, or a year or whatever. I find that some of the best memories I have with some of these people are just that random phone call, because a lot of times it happens at the right moment for that individual, but more so for me as well. And and that is for me, like, if I'm in the truck all the time, we just talked about this, the amount of travel I do, and that's my time. I want to make that time valuable for me, whether it's sitting in silence, listening to a book, or you know what? I haven't talked to the Shimek in a while. Let me give him a phone call.
Yeah.
I sent you a text the other day. I said, let's record. And you're like, okay, when? Like, it was because I needed this morning to kind of just I enjoy the conversation with you, because all my podcasts that I do, a lot of them go down that road of culture and leadership and firefighting and all this stuff.
Which is all important.
No doubt.
So we're not downplaying that at all.
Well, no, but you're so you're so multifaceted as a human being that I have 1,000 other interests too. And what's fun about this for me with you is like you and I have a very good back and forth, and I truly enjoy the relationship we have. And it's only getting stronger and better. And I'm thinking here, like you're talking about skiing, right? You were talking about mountain biking. And I'm like, all those things. I'm like, I can't wait this winter to put skis back. I haven't skied in years because when you marry a woman that doesn't ski, you kind of just, So I'm like, you know what? I said to my wife after we talked last time, I said, I want to get the Epic Pass, and I'm going to get rentals for the year.
Yeah.
And I want to get back out on the slope. She said, then you should do that. And then I was like, cool. Then today, talking to you, I'm like, cool, where are we going to go?
Yeah. Vermont's right up the road from you.
Yes, sir.
So
love it. I grew up there every winter as a kid, man. We skied Vermont. I've skied every place in Vermont.
I promise you, when you take your first run in Vermont this winter, you're going to have, you should put a sandwich in your pocket, number one, and then go up to the top, and you're going to feel like you're 19 again coming down that mountain.
I can't wait.
You're going to go, you're going to get back on the chairlift, and on your second run, you're going to go, why have I wasted so much time not doing this once in a while?
Yep.
Just to remind myself that I'm still alive. I'm still able to get up out of bed and do fun things and get outside. The phone's turned off. The TV's off. You're hanging out with your kids or your wife or who, you're a buddy. Go have a laugh. Yeah. It's so much fun. Go outside.
There's so much to that. There was something I've been talking about doing probably, and this is one of those ideas that I've had, and I've talked to a few friends that can help me with this, and there is interest by many people. I want to run it past you because this is right in your wheelhouse. Something I've been thinking about doing, and I think, we could build out the idea and get some sponsors to help offset costs and things. Something I was thinking of was a weekend in the woods retreat for firemen. And, I have a ton of buddies that are sock guys. I got Tim Anderson from Anderson Rescue Solutions with all his rope and webbing and all that stuff. Like, this could be a weekend of camping, glamping, I guess, not too rugged, but like in the woods, fireman retreat, where it's climbing and hiking in the day or fishing, whatever it is, but it's outdoorsy shit for like 2 days, 3 days. And it's just kind of a retreat to unplug. And then there's guys like you and I that literally just have conversations with guys where people can just disconnect and dial in to talk about the job they love, but talk about life in a safe place, but in a manly, outdoorsy type way. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I think that would be a great thing to be able to launch and do. And I think it can certainly be in regards to just your own well-being, just a weekend of disappearing, disconnecting with like-minded people where you don't have to keep up any facades or bullshit in life, people that understand firehouse humor, people that understand the dark side of it, and people that are looking to just unplug. I think there's so much value there. And it's definitely something I think you would be interested in too, no?
Absolutely. I think we've talked about it here and on my end too. Same concept. Let's go sit in the woods for a couple of days and it's the same thing. You're using all the words I've used. I've had the same idea because the big thing is unplugging, number one, like you said. Let's put our phones away. Let's go hang out. It's no different than hanging out as a crew on date night with your wives or girlfriends. Let's put our phones down and hang out for 2 hours. It's no different. Like my wife should know my lieutenant's wife.
Sure.
We should go sit in the woods once in a while, maybe just have a drink and go fishing, and then sit around a fire at night and have some laughs, maybe get serious for a minute or two and just have conversations. Like, just be part. So you're going to walk out of the woods and you're going to go, you know what? I never knew Steve was into deer hunting so much, and I never, or I never knew his kid had, you just feel more connected. And then when you get back on, and then the tour comes and you're putting on your uniform and you're getting on the truck, you're like, I like Steve, and you feel more of a family. You feel more connected. You feel, because you took time. It takes a lot of effort. It takes effort to get on the, to put up a podcast and have conversations. Same.
Yeah. Well, but I'm thinking about that, and people get nutty about the fire service, and I get so much pushback on how I talk about it's a lifestyle for me. And so many people push back and they're like, you have to separate it. You can't let it rule you. They're ungrateful. They don't give a shit about you, all that stuff. And I'm like, that's fine. I'm like, if you feel that way, I'm sorry for you. But what I've come to find is like, even in the moments that have nothing to do with firefighting is still related to everything that I do. And when you can go out and get away from the fire, volunteer career, right? If it consumes you, it consumes you. But you can have other parts of your life where you disconnect from the fire service, and yet all roads lead back to the firehouse. And when you can break bread in the woods or over an open fire and cooking. I mean, I remember as a kid, we would pick berries and then put them in pancake mix and cook pancakes over an open fire in the middle of the woods. And like, that was like our hiking lunch,
Yeah.
and like those moments, fly fishing up in the Adirondacks, New York, and like all those things. But yet today, the fire department's so important to me, and it's truly a part of my life that I share, and most of my circle feels the same. And so you can disconnect from the firehouse and still have it be incredibly meaningful and impactful at the firehouse. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I just realized what it needs to be. Well, you know what this is.
Yeah. Or do you need to say this is off the record here? What?
No, we're spitballing. This is a working title. You just described Boy Scouts. Okay. So what happens as we get older, we get responsibilities, bills, relationships, careers, you get a dog, you get, you buy a Howie, you just got all these responsibilities, and we get away from Boy Scouts. So I think what we're describing here is a thing called Man Scouts. And it's for grown-ups to go do Boy Scout stuff. Because I can think of 47 people right now that need to go to Man Scouts because they're losing touch with the reality of what really being alive is about. And Man Scouts one day could be a 9 to 5 on the slopes at Breckenridge, and then we go out into the woods and build a fire with our hands. And then everybody's passing around flasks of whiskeys, and ooh, this one's sweet, it's cherry, and then ooh, this one's strong, and then you just goof around, and for some reason Tony always has his shirt off. You know what I mean? Like, just go be
fucking Tony, man, every time.
And then we'll build shelters and sleep in them for no reason. When there's a Motel 6 at the bottom of the hill, be like, we don't care. This is Man Scouts. It's Boy Scouts. We got away from it. Leave it better than you found it, Donch. Oh, I'm trying to do that with the fire service in my little department. Oh, I learned that in Boy Scouts when I was from, 6 to 13 or whatever it was, This is Boy Scouts. It's Man Scouts. It's Man Scouts. We'll get a bunch of guys together and teaching. So someone will come in and teach knots. Oh, Boy Scouts. I learned knots in Boy Scouts. We'll do rappelling. Did that in Boy Scouts. We'll go shoot some 22 rifles. Did that in Boy Scouts. Archery, Boy Scouts. Shelter building, fire starting, canoeing, water skiing, hiking, mountain biking, skiing.
Do you have a drawer full of merit badges?
I have my Cub Scouts book on this shelf behind me. I still have it. And
I didn't make it past Wolf.
I don't remember what I was. My mother was a den leader for a while when I was in Cub Scouts, and then there was Webelos, I believe. It was Cub Scouts, Webelos, and then Boy Scouts. This is...
I think about what you're saying, and it's hilarious. But in sincerity of it, you think about what comes with a weekend like that, right? Just that ability to disconnect from the craziness, to be able to just get back to yourself, have some moments of quiet. You're in a setting that just allows you to be free, right? The same feelings you get when you get out on your mountain bike or when you get up in the mountains on your snowboard. It's that feeling. And I think so many people don't get that opportunity, or they don't give themselves that opportunity. And so all of those activities sound amazing. I'm looking at what the real reward of all that is, and that is just that ability to kind of ground yourself and recenter on the important things in life. And I think after a weekend like that, with the camaraderie, just when you're getting in your own head and it's getting a little too quiet for you on a weekend like that, you can just walk around the corner and there's 20 guys there, just like it's the firehouse table again, right? But it's that shared camaraderie with no guard, if you will. And I think an opportunity or a retreat or a conference, whatever you want to call it, Man Scouts, there's something there that has been very interesting to me for quite a while. And I think about all this mental health talk in the fire service.
Yep. What
are we doing about it?
We're doing more than we were.
Oh, I know that. And this isn't that traditional conversation. Oh, we're not. Yeah. I'm saying, like, what opportunities are we, what are we
if
doing?
You go to work every day from 9 to 5 and you just trudging through life and you have a couple kids and a mortgage and a van payment, and you wake up and you're 45 and you're like, oh, I haven't skied in years and I've lost a little bit of the luster. My knees hurt. And
hi, welcome to Jeremy Donch. Yep.
And so you just kind of get beat down, and then you look around and you might not have as many friends anymore, and you might have one or two buddies you call on a Sunday, but it's just life. And we're just so disconnected while being overconnected with the phones. You know, we all think we have tons of friends. No, we don't. We're just doing this on the phones. They're not friends. They're not calling you. You're not hanging out bowling with them or skiing. We've gotten away from, we got to start acting like children. Go outside. Go ride your bike. Like the one you redid. Go ride that thing today.
I know.
Go get your daughter and let's go for a bike ride. When's the last time you went for a bike ride? Mine was 3 days ago. Go for a bike ride.
You sent me those pictures, man, and I was so jealous. So jealous. I sent you a picture. I was sitting by the pool, feet up.
Yeah.
You know, it was a beautiful day. My tan is on point this summer. I'm having a great summer. Don't get me wrong, right? We came back from a week at the beach, which I just sent my wife this morning. She sent me a text this morning, just, I love you, have a great day, or whatever, because I leave the house early and she's still in bed when I leave. And she, you know, and I get that morning text from her when she wakes up, and I love it. And that's an important text for me. And I sent her a picture back of her and I on the beach from a couple of weeks ago. And I said, love you too. Have a great day. We need to get back down there. I'm missing it. And she said, me too. Let's get away soon. And that to me is so important.
And why do you guys not do that? We don't do that as often with each other. We might take the family to Disney World, or we might, go up to Gatlinburg, but every once in a while you hear a guy, well, I hunt. Okay, well, you hunt, but go take your wife somewhere, like the beach, like you said, or go, I don't know. Like I said, when's the last time you went for a bike ride? When's the last time you went down the mountain on a pair of skis with a smile on your face? Like, go ride your 1980s BMX bike around the neighborhood with your daughter and have a conversation for 30 minutes and just go, you know what, that was great.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot to that. Final thoughts, ideas. I'm not kicking you off, but I'm kicking you off because I got to get moving today. But I needed this recharge this morning with you.
I got hockey. That's 2 hours. Puck drops 2 hours. So yeah, I'm out there doing stuff. Is
that a fire department league? Is that just a recreation like old man's club? What is it?
Thursdays is a bunch of older guys. We basically have 20 dudes that are the regulars, and we all chip in to pay for the ice.
Right.
So it's an hour scrimmage, white team, black team. And then on Sundays, I'm on a beer league, on a team. And so Thursdays and Sundays. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. Man Scouts, I think you need to write that down because I'll forget it.
It's written down, 2 asterisks on both sides of it and underlined several times.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing, but it feels good. It doesn't have to be this monstrous thing. It can be a one-on-one conversation with a new guy at work. It can be, right now there's a guy or a girl at the station that's maybe going through some relationship issues and struggling and could just use someone to maybe take, have a conversation with, have a cup of coffee. Let's make a pot of coffee. People, I think, are just so desperate, like, for this human connection of just having conversations. We talked about it all day today,
You just said something, and I know I said we're wrapping, but I'm very interested now in what you just said. I want to ask you something a little bit more on that.
That I don't know what I'm doing?
Yeah, that exact line, because sometimes you don't need to. And I think so many people get caught up in, if it can't be defined or I don't know exactly what it is, I'm uncomfortable with it. And so they have to title it and put it somewhere, when sometimes the joy of it or the excitement of it is not knowing exactly what you're doing or where you are.
I have failed at a few things in life and had a blast doing it.
Fuck yeah. I love that.
So I've learned that you don't have to have everything perfect before you start something. You also don't need to know what you're doing or where you're going with it, because it ruins it. In my opinion, it ruins everything. As soon as you define something and put parameters on it, then you're afraid to step outside the box. You're afraid to fail. Maybe you're afraid to get laughed at. I'm over that completely now. So I think there's a genuineness in just being like, whatever. Let's see where this goes. And sometimes you just completely shit your pants and you go, well, that was hilarious. But you got a great story out of it.
Yeah.
And that's where and it doesn't have to be this thing, and it all comes back to.
I just, while you were talking, I just wrote down my final thought about all of this. And I think this might be the title for this episode is Take the Long Way Home.
I love it.
Take the long way home.
Yep.
Don't be in such a hurry. Don't be in a rush to define everything. Don't be so detail-oriented that you get lost in the process instead of enjoying the process. Yeah. And my man, I appreciate you more than you know. What were you going to say?
I was just going to add to what you were saying is that your career goes faster than you think.
Yeah.
Another thing I would tell a young person entering this is that you're going to spend a lot of time trying to do everything perfect. You're going to fail at some things. You're always going to feel like you're coming up short, but you're also going to be having a blast, and you're going to be helping a lot of people in your community. And then you're going to wake up and you're going to have 36 months left in your career. So enjoy the ride. Enjoy your bike ride today with your daughter, and turn off the phone and just enjoy her being 16 and you being on your 1983 Haro. You know what I mean? Like, we're so wrapped up in looking down the road. Like, just enjoy this, enjoy skiing this winter. I can't wait to hear the stories. So
I can't wait to go with you.
Yeah. So, just enjoy. Yeah. I'm rambling. I'm a dork.
You are. And you said that earlier. And I've come to realize that, when I was young, I was a bully and I picked on the dorks. And today, I come to find out that I enjoy being a dork in my way. And that guy that I was many, many years ago is so far from who I am today. And I would say be a dork, man. You go down those tunnels and enjoy your things that fuel you and the things that you need, and don't be apologetic or don't hide it, but absolutely flaunt it and talk about what drives you to be a better person, man. I do that every day. I get to do this, and this has made me more accountable, more humble, more honest than I've ever been. I love it.
Oh, me too. I'm right there with you. So,
Conversation is Ventilation podcast, the Shimek. Bro, thank you. Where can people find you? As always, I like to give that plug at the end because I think you bring so much value to what you're doing in the fire service.
Been slacking off a little bit on the videos.
It's all right.
But they're on YouTube, of course, if you want to look at my face talking, and then Spotify and Apple Podcasts for, the Apple platform or whatever for you audio-only guys and girls. But, yeah, we're just, walking through life. Doing our thing.
Well, keep doing your thing, man, because I'm sitting here watching, and I enjoy every minute that I get to see. And I know you're enjoying life, and good for you. And thanks for your friendship, and appreciate you,
Thank
pal.
you.
Cool. Don't go anywhere. Let me sign off. I'll come right back. Guys, thanks for tuning in for another episode of the National Fire Radio Podcast. Chris Shimek, known only as The Shimek. Conversation is Ventilation, the CIV podcast. He's on social media as well as the streaming channels. And he's got a very good message delivered in a way that many people can't do. It's real, authentic, and it's personal. And that's why I have attached myself to this man. He's become a good friend, and I appreciate him very much. So I appreciate all of you for tuning in. And take this conversation, take it back to the firehouse and talk about it, because when we're talking about the job, we're making the job better. I'll see you at the next one. Jeremy, National Fire Radio.
National Fire Radio.